Hey everyone, James Reeves. Not trying to piss on any other companies, nor am I trying to pimp US Lawshield. However, I have seen a lot of misinformation out there lately, and it's kind of pissing me off. So I felt like I should make this video to explain what firearm insurance is. In fact, I've seen comments like this that are like, oh man, firearm insurance coverage, self-defense coverage is a scam. So I'm going to explain, again, insurance, how it works. Before I start, most of you know, like I said, I work for US Lawshield, largest self-defense insurance company. Feel free to disregard my opinion about US Lawshield if you want to, but also bear in mind, I've been an insurance coverage litigator for 15 years too, so everything I'm telling you today is the truth. I know how insurance policies work. One funny thing that I'm seeing on social media, again, are people saying that concealed carry insurance is a scam because they can exclude coverage. What you should do is you should get a lawyer on retainer, or you should get a prepaid legal service. Hate to be the guy to break it to you, but those are just different names for, you guessed it, insurance. They don't even work differently. They just have different names, different coverages, different premiums, and different exclusions. If you don't believe me, Google prepaid legal plan versus legal insurance. It's the same thing. Look right here, Louisiana Insurance Code. Prepaid legal plans are regulated and treated the same as insurance companies, probably because they are the same thing. So let me ask you, what's it called when you pay like a certain amount of money at regular intervals in exchange for an agreement where, should you incur a covered loss, you'll obtain legal defense at no additional charge? Is that prepaid legal, or is that legal insurance? It's both. Well, what about having a lawyer on retainer? I've got tons of clients on retainer. The term having a lawyer on retainer means that you are paying money just to establish an attorney-client relationship. So what that means, once you dial up that lawyer, get on the phone, he's running the point ones, the point twos, you're paying separately for the legal services you need over the retainer. If you don't pay for those services, it's not a retainer, it's an insurance premium, because otherwise you're paying a billable hour rate. Now that we've established that all of these companies are doing the same thing, they do it in a different way. So let's talk about how insurance works, and you can understand this. You have coverages, you have exclusions, you have premiums. It's like a triangle, and all of these things balance each other out. If I give you coverage for anything and everything, no exclusions, your premium is going to be sky high. If I'll only cover you for felony charges on a Tuesday when you use a 1911, and I have an exclusion that limits coverage to just your home county, you better be getting a very low premium. The point is, for any legitimate insurance company, they all run on math, buddy. Google an actuary. Whether it's insurance, prepaid legal, whatever, it'll all balance out so they make a profit and you get a service. Coverages and exclusions are very similar. A grant of coverage tells you what coverage you're going to get. An exclusion carves out, excludes certain things from that coverage. So you could have narrow coverage, like only insuring felony charges and not misdemeanor charges, like some plans out there. But then they'll say, oh, we don't have exclusions. That's cool, but when half the files that come across my desk are misdemeanor charges, they aren't excluded, they're just not covered. Potato, potato, the insurance company is only paying for half the claims, and you're paying for your lawyer if you get a misdemeanor, for example. As I was making this video, dead serious, I get an emergency call for a misdemeanor, which makes up, like I said, about half my claims. Think about it, brandishing a gun, firing a warning shot. Those can be felonies, but they're often coded as misdemeanors too. So if your policy doesn't cover misdemeanors, then you would ironically wish you were charged with a felony, because now you're paying for your lawyer. US Lawshield, very broad coverage. Any charge, felony or misdemeanor, involving self-defense, any weapon, including fists, knives, whatever, even if you're drunk, you can add on coverages for all 50 states, family members, bail bonds, which is very important to get bail bond coverage. They cover criminal and civil trial and appeals. They do have some exclusions. My apologies again if this sounds like a US Lawshield ad. I just don't know what other companies cover. So the only way I can illustrate what I'm talking about here is by using examples from the US Lawshield policy. And I'll give you some real life examples. I had a member, no shit, call me to make a claim after he committed a mass shooting in South Louisiana. The dude shot his neighbor, drove around shooting strangers. It was in the paper. It was like last year. Obviously, that one was denied because it wasn't self-defense. Are there policies out there that might not have excluded that? I think so, possibly. but I'd also want to see what they actually cover and the premiums for that policy. Again, if they're giving you something here, they're taking away something here or there. Look at all the things, the coverages, the exclusions, the premium. For that matter, I don't make the call if you're covered or not. I'm not a US Lawshield coverage lawyer. If you get in a fender bender with your car, then you're going to call the insurance company and an adjuster is going to fill out paperwork, pay it out, it's done. For a serious insurance claim, you typically will have 2 lawyers for any insurance policy. Let's say you get in a car accident, but you were engaged in some activity excluded by your policy. For example, you were driving for Uber, but you had a personal policy. That would be excluded. Or you were the getaway driver in the Heat armed robbery heist at the end of the film. One or both of those would be excluded as business use of a personal auto. And one of them, the latter, would be excluded as criminal activity. By the way, I'd love to see the estate of Donald, the getaway driver from Heat, filing an insurance claim for the damage to his Lincoln. Anyways, let's say Donald's claim comes across your desk at the insurance company and you're an adjuster. You're thinking, oh my God, what do I do with this? So for a claim that's not clearly covered, then that gets sent to coverage counsel. I am not coverage counsel for Lawshield. Coverage counsel works for the insurance company. They review the policy against the claim and they say either it's covered or it's not covered. They make a recommendation known as a coverage opinion. They may say it's a close call. They'll issue something called a reservation of rights, which says, hey, we'll defend you in court because this one's kind of too close to call. But if we find out that you're doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, then we'll take away that coverage and that lawyer down the road. Under those circumstances, the lawyer who defends you, they are going to appoint a lawyer to defend you, and he cannot work for the insurance company because that's inherently a conflict of interest. He has to be independent. In an insurance situation, you want a free lawyer. The insurance company doesn't want to pay for your lawyer. So if your defense lawyer, if their boss is Geico, then there's inherently a conflict. So every insurance company out there, including US Lawshield, should have in-house counsel that will review coverage, and then they'll have independent program attorneys or panel attorneys, external counsel like me. I've got nothing to do with the coverage decisions. I don't say this is covered or not. I simply take in the claims, represent members when the claims are approved after I send them to Lawshield. Now, I've definitely seen some excluded cases, but those are members with expired policies, literal drive-by shootings, situations where members were clearly the aggressor. I am always surprised at what's covered, and so it's kind of aggravating when people are like, oh, these insurance companies don't cover anything. Dude, they cover a lot. I have had at least one claim on my desk for the past 6 years, the entire time I've been working for them. That means I get a little aggravated when I see comments like this in my videos. Oh man, insurance is a scam because they can exclude your claim. Buddy, let me tell you about road rage cases. I recently got a very, very, very favorable plea deal for a member in a case I was shocked to find out was covered. In that case, the driver, let's call her Stephanie, got pissed off at another driver on the roads. Tons of road rage calls, get them all the time. They took turns tailgating and swerving at each other before Stephanie produced a firearm and cracked off 3 rounds in the air with her child in the car. She then claimed self-defense. She got arrested, of course. She was charged with vehicular aggravated assault, a charge that would have put her in jail for up to 30 years. I got it pled down to 2 months of probation and a $400 fine after like 8 or 9 months. But I was frankly surprised that Lawshield even covered that claim. The point is, everything's got a price, everything's got a cost. In other words, I know there are programs out there that say, oh man, we don't have exclusions, but I don't think that they're $11 a month like some policies out there. They might be 3 or 4 times more expensive. That's not really uncommon in the insurance world. They might have a non-refundable setup fee or something for the policy where you pay a fixed amount that you'll never get back when you sign up, while other policies, like I know US Lawshield, you can cancel at any time and you're only paying month to month to month. I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I'm not promoting Lawshield other than the fact that I know it's a good company with a good policy and I represent members daily. I'm not shitting on other companies that call themselves prepaid legal or attorney retainer programs or whatever. Not here to pick a fight. There's so much money in this business that these companies do fight like cats and dogs, and they make misleading promises like no exclusions. They don't emphasize that they don't cover a lot of things like misdemeanors either. I wish this business wasn't so competitive because I think deep down We all just want to help out our members, our fellow gun owners, and we can do that without pissing on each other. We all offer the same product at the end of the day. It's just a different balance. Coverages, exclusions, premiums. What's covered, what's excluded from that coverage, and how much do you pay for it? I freaking hate to mention US Lawshield again, because again, I don't want this to sound like an ad, but what I'm trying to say is it's not. They don't even know I'm making this video. This is not sanctioned by them. I'm not acting officially on their behalf or anything. I just wanted to clarify some misinformation that I've seen out there. But as far as what coverage is best for you, it's for you to figure out. It very well might not be US Lawshield. I'm not married to them. It wouldn't surprise me if sometime down the road in the future, I'm not working for a different company or multiple insurance companies or a prepaid legal program or an attorney retainer program. Guys, call me, baby. I'll work for you, USCCA or whoever. I don't give a shit. I've got no problem with any of these other companies. I'm just trying to say that people are like, oh, prepaid legal, it's different than insurance, and insurance doesn't cover anything, and these guys don't exclude anything, but. It's all the same thing. I'm James Reeves. I'm not your attorney, unless you have US Lawshield and a covered claim. And this is not legal advice. I'm just here to correct some misconceptions. Take care, everyone, and choose wisely.